Good morning students, I am Dr. Tripti Gupta from Shivjyoti Education Group Kota. Today we are going to start with chapter number 7 of first flight. The chapter 7 is Glimpse of India, which is comprising of 3 stories, a baker from Goa, Coorg and tea from Assam. So, first we will take part 1, that is a baker from Goa, written by Lucio Rodriguez. So, students, the part 1, the baker of part 1 of Glimpse of India, a baker from Goa by Lucio Rodriguez. Now, let us talk about the author Lucio Rodriguez. He is one of the few outstanding Konkani essayists and authority and Goan folklore. He contributed several articles in English and Konkani to various periodicals and broadcast many talks. He served as a professor of English in colleges of Bombay and Goa. He was a visiting professor of folklore in Indiana University in 1969. A touch of humor and informal narration are well known features of his style. So, this was about Lucio Rodriguez. Now, let us start with the chapter here, the first story which has been included, that is a baker from Goa. Now, as we can see the title talks about a baker, that means a person who bakes, and the story or the complete feature of a baker is being based from Goa. See, the Goa has a historical feature that it was ruled by Portuguese during the colonial rule, and when Portuguese left in 1961, but there was a great influence on the Goan culture of Portuguese culture. So, the Portuguese, they are famous for their baking skills, for their breads, and that has been a part of Goan culture now. So, the baker here, this story is a pen portrait of the traditional Goan village. Say here, pen portrait means that something, a description, a picturization of particular thing with the help of, in a written manner, with the help of a pen. Okay. So, of a traditional Goan village baker who still has an important place in his society. So, this baker is basically based in a Goan village, and the narrator, he has a very nostalgic reminiscence of that how he in his childhood he used to get fascinated about the baker being coming in his street right early in the morning, and with the sound of his jang jang, that is the sound of thud and jingle which he made out of that bamboo stick which he carried along with his basket, that made these children to wake up right early in the morning, and they used to rush outside their house to that baker, and they had a very strong affinity with that baker. The author has described that affinity to be a companionship, like a guide, like a friend, and that particular bonding with that baker is been nicely described in this story. Now, the story starts with our elders are often heard reminiscing nostalgically about those good old Portuguese days, the Portuguese and their famous loaves of bread. So, as we can see, there is an introduction of Portugal skills of baking, and the loaves of bread. Loaves means those big pieces, the buns which were being baked by these bakers, and they were being famous for baking those breads. Okay. So, those eaters of loaves might have vanished. See, the author is saying basically the people they have departed, they have migrated from villages. There now there are not much of the customers who are there for these bakers left now, for the generation which is now been there in the villages of these bakers families. But still these bakers are there, they are still following their old traditional you can say the profession of their forefathers of baking the breads. Okay. So, those age old time tested furnaces still exist. The fire in the furnaces has not yet been extinguished. See, what the author wants to say here is that the furnaces are still being given heat, they are still being on fire, still there are bakers, they are following their profession of baking the breads. And now the author, he remembers that how the third end jingle, that jingling sound of that bamboo was that being carried by the baker, the traditional baker's bamboo, that was heralding his arrival. Heralding is, that means it was making a significant notification that he has arrived in the street. So, with that jingling sound and that thud sound of that bamboo, the children, they used to come to know that the baker has been there in their street. So, in the morning they can still be heard in some places. So, still these kind of bakers you can still find, they have been roaming in the streets selling the freshly baked breads by them on the, maybe on the cycles, maybe taking the baskets on their heads. Okay. So, still we can find such bakers in the village, in the rural areas. Okay. Maybe the father is not alive, but the son still carries on the family profession. These bakers are even today known as padder in Goa. So, there is a specific term by which these bakers are being known in Goa, that is padder. Okay. Now, during our childhood in Goa, the baker used to be our friend, companion and guide. So, he used to come at least twice a day, and see the normal routine of that baker was when in the morning he used to go and he was on his selling journey, he used to go from that village, he used to start. So, first was that turn when he used to come, and when his basket was being emptied after the selling all the loaves, then he used to return back, and then again second time he used to cross the street, and again these children used to meet them. Okay. So, the jingling thud of his bamboo woke us up from sleep and we ran to meet and greet him. So, this was the routine habit or an activity. The moment that jingling sound was there, they used to wake up and they used to rush to meet the baker, the padder. Okay. Why was it so? Was it for the love of the loaf? Not at all. So, only that loaf of bread was not the reason for which they used to rush. It was the bond, it was the companionship, the friendship, the guidance which they used to get, and they used to enjoy the company of that baker. So, that was a special bond which they had with that baker in their childhood. The loaves were bought by some Paskins or Bastons who were those maid servants of the house. What we longed for were those bread bangles which we chose carefully. So, there were special bangle breads. Okay, bangles you understand, in a ring form. Okay, so the breads were specially made for children. He used to bake the breads in a form of a ring or in a form of a bangle, and those bangle breads were the reason that used to fascinate these children, and for getting those bangles and for making a selection, for making a choice out of his basket, that was the activity for which they were being so much curious about, and they were so enthusiastic about going to that baker in the morning. Sometimes it was sweet bread of special made. So, occasionally that bangle bread used to be a sweet bread. Okay. The baker made his musical entry on the scene with the jung jung sound of his specially made bamboo staff. So, the bamboo staff, that stick, bamboo stick, it was been specially created by incorporating some of the maybe the musical ghungroos which were being there on that bamboo shaft, and when he used to make a third sound, then that bamboo shaft was making a jingling sound of jung jung like that. Okay. So, the next see the paragraph. The baker made his musical entry on the scene with the jung jung sound of his specially made bamboo staff. So, there was a special bamboo which he used to carry. Out of that bamboo there is this sound, jingling sound used to come, and he that sound was the main indication that the baker has been there in the street. One hand supported the basket on his head and other band the bamboo on the ground. So, this was his basic the way he used to carry his basket, and he would greet the lady of the house with good morning and then place his basket on the vertical bamboo. So, placing his bamboo vertically in a straight manner, and then he used to place his basket on that bamboo, and then he used to sell with a greeting of like a good morning to the ladies, and then he used to sell the loaf of the bread loaves, whatever was being required. Now, we kids would be pushed aside with a mild rebuke, and the loaves would be delivered to the servant. So, the servants used to carry the loaves from the baker, and see, the boys or the children, they used to group around, they used to just surround the baker, and these children were being set aside with a small rebuke is a word being used, and expression of disapproval, a scolding. So, somewhat aggression was being shown just to make them aside so that the ladies could reach the baker, and finally they used to purchase the bread. Now, but we would not give up. We would climb a bench or a parapet or peep into the basket somehow. So, the basic motive was they used to climb a bench or somewhere on the high raised area parapet, and then they used to peep, they used to look inside the basket so that they can make a choice of which particular bangle bread they want to take. Okay. So, I can still recall the typical fragrance of those loaves. Say, all those breads were being freshly baked, and there is a very beautiful mild fragrance which used to come out of those sweet fragrance, and that is being recalled by the author. The loaves for elders and bangles for the children. So, this was how there was a particular choice was being there. For children the bangle breads were there, and for elders the loaf bread was there. Okay. Then we did not even care to brush our teeth or wash our mouths properly. Why should we? We would take the trouble of plucking who would take the trouble of plucking the mango leaf for the toothbrush. And why was it necessary at all? The tiger never brushed his teeth. Hot tea could wash and clean up everything so nicely after all. So here the author was being showing that they were being so desperate, rather brushing the teeth was such an activity which was being exempted out of that enthusiasm of finding that bangle bread, and that's why he is giving all his excuses that why the brushing of teeth was been discarded, because that mango leaf which they used to use for brushing was being a difficult task for them, and then there was hardly they felt any requirement of cleaning their mouth before having that bangle bread. That shows that how much fond of they were for that bangle bread. It was hardly being required for them, or they were hardly felt it any necessity of brushing teeth or cleaning their mouth, and that's why they compared themselves with the tiger who never washed their mouth. Okay, so this is how they have basically compared, shown their desperation for that bangle bread. So now let us move further. Another aspect involved with that loaf bakers and the breads was out of the culture that marriage gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread known as the bowl. So the bowl was a special bread which used to be the part of the marriage processions, and they were the sweet breads in a round shape, and the name was being bowl, and they were the part of the feast, the party feast, and without those bowl breads, the party feast was being considered to be an incomplete aspect. Okay, so its charm without bread was not being enjoyed if that bread was not there. Okay, so not enough can be said to show how important a baker can be for a village. The lady of the house must prepare sandwiches on the occasion of her daughter's engagement. So, for every occasion of life, for every celebration of life, the baker used to be the part of that occasion, that celebration, because in one or the other forms they were using the breads for sandwiches, for party feasts. Everywhere the bread was the part of their lives, and that's how the importance of baker was very immense importance was there in that village. The cakes and bolinhas are a must for Christmas as well as other festivals. Thus, the presence of baker's furnace in the village is absolutely essential. So, this shows that how a baker's importance has been described here, that the essentiality and the importance, the significance of the baker was huge. It was been without his presence, without baker's furnace, okay, the village was been incomplete. The baker or bread seller of those days had a peculiar dress known as kabai. It was a single piece long frock reaching down to the knee. This was a very peculiar means something very unique. Dressing style was being there of these padders, and that was known as kabai, and it was a frock, long frock style dress which was single piece, and it used to fall up till the below the knees. Okay, in our childhood we saw bakers wearing a shirt and trousers which were short than full length, ones or longer than half pants. So, in his childhood, he had found that bakers, they have changed their dressing style, and they used to dress in shirts and trousers, and those trousers must be folded upon, and they were being brought up till their knee, just below the knee. So, that was how more than the half pants. Okay. So even today, anyone who wears a half pant which reaches just below the knee invites the comment that he is dressed as like a padder. So that was a typical dressing style which was being taken up by the padder, and they were being recognized. So still that comment goes with a person whosoever follows that style of wearing that high short trousers. Okay. So now one more aspect was there. The baker usually collected his bills. So the billing aspect of the bakers was being very typical, like they used to take up their bills in the month end, and they used to, monthly accounts used to be recorded on some wall in pencil. So they used to mark the record on the wall with the help of a pencil, and at the end of the month they used to calculate that, they used to bill out the complete record, and finally that bill was made on the monthly basis. Baking was indeed a profitable profession in old days. So the baker and his family never starved. So they were being prosperous, they were prosperous, and they were having enough, they were affluent, and they hardly been, nobody had seen a poor baker in old days. Okay. The baker, he and his family, his servants always looked happy and prosperous. Their plump physique, that means a bit slightly fatty person. Okay. So he was an open testimony to this. So this proves their physique, their plumpy physique shows that they were being prosperous, and they enjoyed enough good money and income out of their baking profession. Even today, any person with a jackfruit like physical appearance is easily compared to a baker. So a similar kind of personality can be still being they are being related, or they are being compared to a baker. So baker were being considered, they must be plumpy and a bit slightly fatty and chubby type of people. Okay. Now there are few questions here. Okay. Now let us discuss these internal questions. The first one is that what did, see here, this can be easily made as marriage gifts were the sweet bread called bowl, and for the party feast they were sandwiches. For the daughter's engagement the sandwiches were there. For Christmas cakes and bolinas, and for the party feast the breads were there. Okay. Now second question is that what did the baker wear in the Portuguese days and when the author was young? Okay. So you can find this answer. So in the Portuguese days they used to wear that dress cabai. Okay. And when author was young, he found that these bakers were wearing shirts and trousers. So on page number 87, para number 2, see line first here. This is the one here. Okay. Here you can find this para, this is para 2, and here right from the first line you can find this answer of this particular question. You can mark here para number 2, and right from the first 4 to 5 lines are comprising of this answer of this question. Okay. Now let us move to the next question. Who invites the comments, he is dressed like a padder? Okay. See here the next question. Now for this answer we will again see, it is very easily you can identify the answer again in para 2 itself, and we will follow the line 6. Even today anyone who wears a half pant which reaches just below the knee invites the comment that he is dressed like a padder. So this is the answer of this question. Okay, you can mark line 6 of para 2 on page 87 to be the answer of this question. Okay. Now, there is one more question. What does a jackfruit-like experience mean? So, a jackfruit-like appearance means a plumpy physique. Okay. So, you can write down there itself in your books. Plumpy physique is the answer to this question. Okay. So, one more last question. Where were the monthly accounts of the baker being recorded? So, we know that the bakers, see here, they used to record on some wall in pencil. So, you can write that they used to record on walls. Okay. So, that is how we have discussed all the questions here, the internal questions of this chapter. Now, I would suggest all of you to prepare the chapter, read it thoroughly and prepare the answers of all these internal questions. Thank you, students.